from the multi-parent. Jason jumped up and put his hand on his hip. He looked as if he was about to stomp his foot. "I want to play a game," he said, furrowing his brow. "What kind of game?" said Anna, standing up. She leaned over him in a way that made her feel uncomfortable, and immediately she crouched down so she could look at him face to face. "Knights and Dragons," said Jason. "So how do you play?" said Anna. "So," said Jason, dragging the O in a mocking manner, "there's a dragon, and he kidnaps a maiden and keeps her in a cave. And he has 7 heads, and each day of the week a different head guards the maiden. Then there's a knight, and he comes and kills the dragon and rescues the maiden. And then they get married." "That sounds like a story," said Anna. "How do we play the game?" "That's easy," said Jason. "We pretend to be the dragon, the maiden, and the knight." Anna kept a straight face, suppressing her desire to laugh. It felt strange that she couldn't express herself freely, even in the company of a child. "There are only 2 of us, while there are 3 characters," she said. "One of us will play 2 parts." "What character do you want to play?" she said. "The knight?" Jason frowned. "No, I'm the maiden. You play the knight." "What about the dragon?" "You play that too," said Jason, folding his arms. "Now, I'm going to go to the bathroom, which is the cave where you're hiding me." He walked into the bathroom, turned on the light, lowered the toilet lid, and sat down. "Can you fight the dragon in front of the door so I can see?" he said. Anna looked at him sitting on the toilet, his feet dangling a few inches above the ground. So this is what she had to do, play a dragon and a knight to be part of this boy's world. She let out a sigh. Jason frowned, no doubt suspecting her lack of enthusiasm. "That was a fire-breathing sigh," she said. "Did you see it?" Jason's eyes widened, and he nodded his head with both fright and amazement. With her arms spread out, and her back hunched, Anna swayed from one foot to the other as she moved to the door in a way she imagined 7-headed dragons must have sauntered about their lair. "I've come to guard you," she said, letting out another fire-breathing sigh. "Please let me go," said Jason, almost in a whisper. The tenderness of his voice made Anna shudder. She straightened her back with a jerk and had to stop herself from running up and embracing him, unsure where the sudden surge of tender feelings originated. Immediately, her back was hunched again, more grotesquely than before, and a draconian gesture meant to both banish any tender feelings left in her chest and frighten the little boy into fits of shivering. "I will never let you go," she said, until you love me." "I will never love you," said Jason. "But if you put your head on my lap, I will pet it." Again, Anna straightened her back. "That's an interesting maiden you're playing," she said. Jason shook his head as if shaking the character of the maiden from his body. "What's so interesting about her?" he said. "Why will the maiden pet the dragon if she doesn't love him?" he said. "She has to eat, doesn't she? The dragon doesn't feed her unless she pets one of his heads. Then he broils her a chicken with his breath. It's pretty cool, you know, one of those big rotisserie chickens with brown skin. Have you ever had one? They're really good." "Yes, I've had rotisserie chicken before," said Anna. "See," said Jason, "wouldn't you pet a dragon for rotisserie chicken?" "I don't know. Never thought about it." She lowered her arms, dismantling the last visible attribute of the dragon pose, and stood with a tilted head looking at Jason. "Are we still playing?" he finally said. Anna shook herself. Yes, we're playing." "Now where's the knight?" he said. "He needs to come and rescue me." Anna raised her nose into the air and sniffed. "I smell an intruder," she said. "I go fracking with my breath." She shifted her weight from side to side, flapped her winged arms, and with speed and elasticity that was surprising even to her, darted out of the bathroom. In a moment she returned, prancing as if she were riding a horse. "Ah, fair maiden," she said as she dismounted her invisible steed. "I've come to rescue you." The maiden looked suspiciously at her knight, then turned her head to the wall. "Have you killed the dragon?" The knight puffed out his chest and brandished his sword above his head. "The coward flew away as soon as he saw me," said the knight. The maiden looked back and assumed the frustrated expression of an adult about to scald a wayward child. "He's a much braver dragon than that. He has 7 heads while the knight only has 1. The knight is more likely to run away, not the dragon." "I know," said Anna. "The knight is pretending to to be braver than he actually is. He's being boastful, to impress the maiden. He'll frighten the dragon when the dragon returns. Jason frowned, then jumped from the toilet and walked out of the bathroom. What happened? Said Anna, following him as he approached the bed. I don't see the point of being rescued by a knight who's as much a liar as the dragon. He climbed into bed and covered his head with a blanket. No amount of pleading, apologizing, or cajoling could induce him to emerge from the cave of his own making. He remained thus for the balance of the evening. Only when Anna, who by this point had entertained successive urges of increasing intensity to abort their vacation and return him to the Child Adoption Services dormitory, put on a pair of woolen socks and climbed into bed, did Jason burrow out of his blanket. He kept his back towards Anna and appeared poised to not even move or make a sound until morning. Thank you.